Welcome back. Well, the unified busing system comes into effect across the capital today. Now we're joined by the Assistant Traffic Controller, Mr. Bradley Smith. Mr. Smith, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thanks for having me.
So, Mr. Smith, talk to us a little bit about the process. How does the unified busing system actually work?
Well, the pilot project is really designed for the overall unification of the busing system. As you know, we have a lot of complaints, a lot of things happening on the street because the current system, as we know, is really fragmented. So we're trying to gather as much data as we possibly can for over the next 6 months for this pilot project. So later on in the future, we can unify the entire system, to make life easy for Bahamian motoring public and pedestrians alike, and hopefully a lot of people now would be able to leave their vehicles home and the streets will be less congested. And with the pilot project, it's basically designed to change the culture of Bahamians because, a lot of Bahamians tend to use buses like they're flagging down for taxis. The motoring public should actually go to buses. Buses don't go to people. And what we're going to do with this pilot project, and it's important for members of the public to know, that only persons on the bus stops will be picked up. You must pay as you enter, and you must have exact change. All right? There are no more compromising because the drivers now will not be handling any monies. We will have proper fare boxes, and we'll be able to track the buses as they go along their journey. And the route itself is based on the sea breeze and the eastern district of Fox Hill, Hannah Road area. All right? And it was on the book for quite some time, but it wasn't serviceable. So we selected that route, and we want to increase ridership.
So will you guys be doing, start changing some other routes across the capital to make it, the transit much easier for persons who use the actual busing system?
When we get to that stage of the overall unification, the routes will be adjusted and be modified where persons now will be able to catch a bus from east, transfer to another bus to get out west as need be.
Now, I know Bahamians are saying everything is going up. So are the fees going to be going up as well?
No, the fees remain the same. And there's no what. People like to ask that question. But the fees will remain the same.
Talk to me about improvements. I know you talked about the routes and you talked about the new system. Any new strategies, in the future or moving forward?
Well, currently, with the pilot project, the drivers will be properly uniformed. They'll work on a time basis, half a day, and then they'll be relieved. They will be salaried, and all the buses will move like a 15 minutes interval. So, members of the public will constantly see a presence out there, all right? So basically you can time yourself how you get to commute to get to one point to the next.
Now, I know there's been a number of complaints by Bahamians about, drivers overtaking and driving recklessly on our streets. Is there going to be any penalties for them in this new system?
Well, with the pilot project, it's just 5 buses we're going to use currently, all right? And that won't happen with this pilot project because if anybody breach what is called the rules of the road, then we'll look for new drivers, all right? So that's the way it is.
So anything, any messages you want to send out to persons who are going to be, using the transit for the first time today?
Well, persons are using the bus for the first time. Just be reminded that the law says you must pay as you enter, all right? You must be on the bus stops in order to be picked up, and please have exact change, all right? The drivers do not handle money. You would not be getting any change. And conduct yourself accordingly, and no eating and drinking on the buses. And I think they're going to find this quite, it's an adjustable thing because they're used to flagging down buses. But get out there on time, get on the bus stops. They're clearly marked, and you should be okay.
Are we ever going to get to the point where we use cards instead of cash to use the transit?
Yes, that the whole idea for the unification too is not for the drivers to handle any funds whatsoever, and you'll be able to transfer from, using a ticket system from one bus to the next.
So you're excited? I know road traffic is going to be busy this morning. Are you excited about this?
They'll be
new
ready to
system?
go because it's due. It's long overdue, and we want to get the ball rolling, and hopefully we'll see how it's done 6 months down the road.
How long has it been since you guys have been, I guess, putting this particular measure in the works to have the system now implemented today?
A long time, and then it's just the individual owners coming together. We had quite a jolting from the UPTC, led by Harrison Moxie, who we worked hand in hand with, and we finally came together, and we're rolling now, and we just excited to get it started. Like I said, it was long overdue, and members of the public should be proud.
I know you talked about the Seabreeze and Hannah Road area. What are some of the other routes that you guys will be tackling this morning?
That's the pilot we'll use for the next 6 months. If you try to incorporate all the other routes with the busing, because of the expense and the data which we're trying to gather, it won't work. It's just a bit too costly at this time. So that's why we structured that area. The route is on the books, but it was not serviced. And people have to travel a long way just to get to the bus. Persons who live in the Bahamians, Bamba, Hannah Road, they have to walk all the way to by the prison in order to get the bus into town. And hopefully that's a thing of the past.
Thank you so much, Mr. Smith, for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck on your new endeavor. Thank you so much.